Hey guys, my name is Matimio, and welcome to another episode of Sunday Mailbox. This is a video series where you, the viewer, can submit your gaming or Battlefield-related questions, and then I will give my humble opinion on them. To get the formalities out of the way real quick, if you would like to submit your own question that could be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. So the first question for today comes in from Pyrie, who asks, since there will be a 20 times zoom scope for bolt-action rifles in Battlefield 4, do you believe that it will reward campers and that there will be more snipers who don't do anything for their team? Also, zeroing out your weapon is a concern since it will make long-range sniping easier, which it shouldn't. It almost seems like DICE wants to make recons even more useless and wants them to be farther away instead of helping out their team with Pokeballs and spawn beacons. So on the one hand, you're right, it does appear that DICE is trying to make long-range sniping a little bit more viable in Battlefield 4. But on the other, it's clear that they are also making it easier to play as an aggressive recon. I mean, you even say it in your question. That's the reason why they are giving us the motion balls and also C4. And if you want to use those gadgets effectively, you have to play at least the medium to close range game. You're not going to be able to toss C4 across the map like you could in Bad Company 2, and while the range of the motion balls is a little bit longer, you still need to play around the objectives and with your teammates to get any use out of them. And in all honesty, this has been in the Battlefield franchise since day one. I mean, ever since Battlefield has been a sandbox game, ever since there has been bolt-action rifles, there has always been someone out there that has wanted to play like a real-life sniper trying to take people out from a mile away. I mean, that's always going to be in there. And so what appears that DICE is doing is kind of catering, not really catering, but making it so that if you want to play that type of gameplay, you can do so. But they're also giving you incentive to play as an aggressive recon. And so while, yeah, I think that your concerns are definitely justified, I think that a lot of people are going to try out the long ball game, trying to play like a real-life sniper. Many will gravitate back on over to playing more aggressively. They'll realize that that type of play style is a lot more thrilling. It's a lot more action-packed. Getting C4 kills, helping out your team with motion ball assists and all that type of stuff will just be a lot more rewarding, and we'll probably end up with a lot more players playing on the objectives and helping out their team. So the next question for today comes in from Captain Crunch, who asks, hey Matimio, do you think that DICE will put in destroyable roofs and floors in Battlefield 4 because it will bring in big tactical aspects into the game? Now, I don't think it's been confirmed that roofs and floors will be destructible, but I don't see why they wouldn't do that, especially for roofs. I mean, I'm kind of hesitant, at least for floors, because if you were able to take out the floor of a building and just like every single part of it was destroyed, then that would be a little silly. Like, then that part of the map would be completely ruined. And DICE has said that they still want the maps to have some structure to them. They don't want you to take down every single skyscraper, because then it would just be a rubbled mess and it would just be a little ridiculous. And so that would be kind of the same if you could just, if the map was centered around a large building or multiple buildings with different floors, if you could just punch through every single floor, the map itself would dissolve into something probably not very desirable. But if you could do it for the roof, I would be all for that. I don't see why DICE couldn't do that, or why I can't see why they wouldn't do that, because you're right, it would kind of have some nice tactical aspects of it. If there's an MCOM on the top floor and you have a chopper, you know, drop down in, place C4 on the top of the roof, then you now have a nice little hole to access the MCOM. Another really cool idea that I had was that if they did have sections of the floor that were maybe crumbling, and that was basically kind of the indicator that this can be destroyed, this could open up different access routes to maybe flank your enemy. But what if they also had it on like an MCOM? So let's say you and your allies are having a really hard time pushing up onto the MCOM, but let's say it's in a building on the second floor. You go down into the basement or something like that, punch a bunch of grenade launchers in there, have it crumble to the ground, and now all of you and your buddies just quickly arm the MCOM, defend it, and push up onto the next objective. That would be really cool. That would be something that I would be interested in. But widespread floor destruction, I don't see. I think maybe in select locations it's definitely possible, but for the roof, I think that is a fair game, and I hope that they do something like that. So the next question for today comes from Palo Vale, who asks, in a Battlefield 3, there are certain bases/flags that I really enjoy fighting over. Unfortunately, TDM and squad deathmatch maps are not always in or around those bases. What if in Battlefield 4, DICE set up 3 to 5 TDM arenas per map so that there is more variety in the TDM experience? Absolutely, I would love to have this in Battlefield 4, and what's funny about this is that back when I was playing Bad Company 2 and we were all learning about Battlefield 3, we're all getting really excited, I distinctly remember, maybe I'm going crazy, that a DICE developer said that because their maps are so large, that they would be able to have more variety for a team deathmatch because they could place these arenas on different sections of the map. And so while we all know that that didn't happen, I was a little disappointed. And what makes me sad is that I think that they're going to be sticking with the same policy, and that's mainly due in part because it would just extend the development time. I mean, DICE already has a deadline. They have to get this game out by October 29th. And if they are already crunching for time, they're not going to spend even more just putting in different sections of maps for Team Deathmatch. I would be thrilled if I am completely wrong, but I have a feeling that they are going to stick with the same policy like they did in Battlefield 3 and just have one arena for Squad Deathmatch, for TDM, and just do that for all the maps. But that is about it for today's Sunday Mailbox, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, if you would like to submit your own question to be featured in an upcoming episode, you can do so by leaving a comment down below or by sending me a YouTube message. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.